Most people go to parks for peace, fresh air, quiet trails, sunlight slipping through leaves. But every once in a while, the wrong person walks into the wrong park at the wrong time. What begins as a peaceful walk can turn into something unforgettable, something terrifying. Tonight, I am sharing the true park horror stories sent in by viewers, stories of people who thought they were alone, only to discover something watching them, following them, or hiding in the one place they least expected. So sit back, dim the lights, and listen closely, because these stories stay with you long after they're over. Welcome back, everyone. If you love real-life horror, strange encounters, disturbing moments, or things that make you check behind you, this video is for you. The stories you're about to hear take place in ordinary parks, places we visit all the time. But nothing about what happened to these people was ordinary. One story comes from a hiker who realized late that someone was matching his every step. The other takes place in a suburban playground, hiding something no one noticed until it was too late. Put on your headphones, sit somewhere safe, and prepare yourself, because these are true stories, and they are far from comforting. Our first story comes from a man named Aaron, who in 2019 was 27 years old and loved hiking more than anything. He visited Redwood Trail State Park 3 or 4 times a week. The forest was massive, towering trees, long winding trails, fallen leaves creating a soft carpet under his boots. On a cold late October evening, he arrived at about 5 p.m. The sun was low, casting gold light through the branches. Only 2 cars were in the lot, exactly how he liked it. He stepped onto the trail he knew so well, breathing in the cold air, enjoying the silence. About 15 minutes in, he heard something strange, 3 slow, soft, drawn-out notes, like someone gently whistling a lullaby. He stopped and listened. The sound seemed to float from behind him, echoing between the trees. He assumed it was another hiker and continued. But a few minutes later, he heard it again, same 3 notes, same rhythm, same direction. He slowed his pace. The whistling slowed. He stopped completely. Silence. The forest around him felt still, like everything was listening. Then, again, the same whistle drifted toward him, closer this time. The unease in his chest grew heavy. He walked faster, and the whistling returned, matching him perfectly. Every time he slowed, it slowed. When he stopped, it stopped. Something inside him, the instinct that warns you when something is wrong, told him not to turn around. But he did, slowly, scanning the empty trail behind him. Nothing. No one. Just trees and shadows. He reached a clearing with a wooden bench and sat down to calm himself. But as soon as he took a breath, he heard the whistle again. So close now it sounded like it was right behind the first line of trees. That was enough. He stood up and began walking fast, then jogging, then running. Branches scraped his arms. His breath turned sharp, and every few seconds he heard the whistle again, louder, closer, almost playful now. When he finally reached the parking lot, he froze. A dark blue SUV had parked right next to his car, something that hadn't been there earlier. What chilled him was the sound coming from the slightly open passenger side window. The whistling, soft, slow, the exact same 3 notes. His blood ran cold. The whistling stopped abruptly, like whoever was inside had noticed him. Then the passenger door opened. A tall man in a hooded sweatshirt stepped out slowly, keeping his head down. He didn't move toward Aaron. He didn't say a word. He simply lifted his head just enough for his pale face to be visible and curled the corner of his mouth into a slow, deliberate smile, like he had been waiting for him. Aaron dove into his car, locked the doors, and reversed out of the lot almost blindly. As he sped away, the man just stood there, hands in his pockets, watching him leave like he wasn't done yet. Aaron never went back to that park, and sometimes, late at night, he swears he still hears those same 3 notes being whistled somewhere outside his window. Our second story comes from a woman named Lisa, who lived in a quiet apartment complex with a small playground right behind it. It wasn't anything special, just a slide, a sandbox, to swings, in summer 2020. She worked night shifts and usually got home around 3 a.m. one night. As she walked past the park gate toward her building, she noticed the old yellow playground lamps were flickering and buzzing loudly. Then she heard something even stranger: tap, 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 slow, metallic, rhythmic. It was coming from underneath the slide platform in the dark crawl space kids avoided. Curiosity and concern pushed her closer. She crouched down and peered into the shadows. At first she saw only darkness. Then something moved: a pale hand. An adult hand. Long fingers tapping the underside of the metal slide. Tap, tap, tap. She gasped and stumbled backward. The hand pulled back quickly into the darkness. Her heart raced. No kid would be under there at 3 a.m. And those fingers, they were too long, too thin. She hurried inside her apartment and watched the playground from her window. Nothing moved. The next night, she took a different path to avoid passing near the playground. But as she approached her building, the tapping returned, faster, louder, more urgent. Tap, tap. She ran inside and immediately called the police. 15 minutes later, two officers arrived. She watched from her window as they shined flashlights under the slide. The first officer recoiled instantly and motioned for his partner. They both drew back, giving space. They ordered whoever was under there to come out. Slowly, a man crawled out: dirty clothes, tangled hair, sunken eyes. He didn't look scared. He looked irritated, like he'd been interrupted. As they questioned him, he barely responded. But when he lifted his head and looked around, his eyes moved directly to Lisa's window. His expression shifted into a thin, unnatural smile that stretched wide, like he was letting her know he had seen her first. Police escorted him away. But Lisa's fear didn't stop there. The parks department sealed the entire underside of the playground with metal grates and added cameras. But Lisa couldn't shake the feeling he wasn't gone. Every night before she left for work, she swore she heard the faint tapping again, either coming from the park or somehow from inside her walls. She moved out months later, unable to sleep, unable to shake the feeling that he remembered her.